Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial AAB waiting room. My cat is literally going crazy in the corner. Dude, you are literally like sedentary the entire day. Yeah, I guess he wants. Good for him. Cool. We have not a whole lot to talk about, but we have some fun today. We're gonna do some tier lists, and I actually got recommended a few old H3 videos, so I thought I wanted to start with that, just because it was, reminds me of the good old days. I could, Jesus, come on, man, calm down. He's fine. He's just like it's right here. Well, I'll just mute it if it's getting too loud. But yeah, this is a Olive Garden from Too Damn Filthy. This was 9 years ago.
Good prank. Watch this. This is gonna be great. Come on. Come on. Hey.
Oh, hey Frank, how you doing?
Fuck you. I fucking hate you.
What's up, dude?
We were in love. I can't believe you fucking left me. What? Huh? You fucking left me in the Olive Garden? You got married? You got married with, what's her name, Gila?
There's only so many free breadsticks, man. We were there for 5 hours.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Every fucking weekend, it's Olive Garden. The breadsticks are only good for like the first week, and after that, you expect me to keep eating breadsticks? You gotta learn how to treat a lady, man.
Treat a lady?
I gave you a shot. Now you're coming in here talking.
I think my mouse might be broken. But this is the high level content everybody says they miss. It's truly this is like a classic Spielberg mixed with a little bit of Kubrick, you know what I mean? But I don't even know. There's nothing for me to even say about this. Thank you for the birthday wish. I miss Filthy Frank too. I gotta be honest. I like the music. I like the Joji music. I liked it back, the original Joji music. People who know. But there was just something about it. He does some crazy stuff at his live shows, so maybe I just need to you have to catch him when he comes to town.
Fucking shit like, oh, that pussy stink, boy.
You ain't never gonna find a pussy as tight as mine.
I can see why he wanted to separate himself from this a little bit. I'm putting you in the love Sabra tier, Alex. So I guess we're both gonna be. I completely like the thing that I think people forget about is Filthy Frank was insane, but at least some of his stuff was like social commentary and like, because the whole thing was the character was meant to be a degenerate, so it's not like he was promoting it. It was literally just like showcasing what internet degeneracy like could look like. But I guess the internet got so depraved that he realized that it wasn't a good look to keep doing the character.
I'm tight, boy.
Fucking
frugal as
never
fuck.
gonna find a pussy stinkier than yours, boy.
Oh, I
fucking
get-
time to douche it out, man. I'm trying to fucking get my dick wet, dude.
I
And
get
you're
it wet with just the right stuff. That stinky, stinky stuff. Listen, I got a 2-for-1 deal. Some stamps. I'll be you. Olive Garden. What do you say? Forget that bitch. Forget Hila. Hila's a fucking bitch. I never liked Hila from the start. She's not here, is she? She's here, isn't she?
Yeah,
Oh no. Someone's gonna clip that.
dude, she's here.
They're gonna be like, see, we knew all along. Nobody ever liked Ethan.
The bread.
Damn, just the dilapidated apartment they're in. For a second, I thought maybe it was. I was like, "What is this supposed to be? Like a branch?" And then I was like, "Oh no, it's just a crack straight through heaven." This is one of the places where they're just like, "You can find a new one, then put it on." But do you want me to do about it?
Breadsticks weren't enough. Okay, the breadsticks were never enough.
The prank's over.
The bread was never enough for me, Frank.
This is the prank's over. I got it.
The bread was never enough, Frank.
Fuck you.
No, you never got it.
Fuck you.
3 breadsticks can only get you so much pussy, dude.
Pranked.
Broke ass.
He said the N-word. Cancel Ethan now. 9 years ago? I didn't even realize this when it got recommended to me. It's getting recommended to people now. Ooh. No.
The breadsticks were never enough, Frank. No. The breadsticks were never enough.
I can change. I can change. I can change.
One more time. Can I get the Alfredo? Can I get the chicken parmesan? Are you gonna let me get the good shit, or are you gonna make me?
I mean, this is around the time when he said it with the hard R, so it's not like I'm gonna be like, like I'm not shocked that he said it in this, but definitely not a good look. It's spread across too much content, Ethan.
Use the fucking coupon again, Frank. You gonna treat a girl right, or are you gonna make me?
It's like how every time I see Harley now, I just have to show him doing Shaq face.
Snack on breadsticks all night.
Breadsticks all day now.
My God. No, but literally, is this worse than Harley doing a full black body with his Shaq? It really was just so weird how normalized it was in like the early 2000s. It is just crazy. Like, because it's not even like it was like, oh, these isolated white people that, you know, they were doing videos with black people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Filthy Frank had a lot of black characters in like the storylines and stuff. It was just so, I don't know. Looking back on it, it's so crazy.
Pranked! You got pranked!
Get out, man! Get out, man!
Got him! These nuts!
Get out, man!
Got him!
It really is just like, oh, and then here we go from like this around the same time 2 years later. See, so this is what I mean when I'm just like, the stuff that's happening now is apparently enough to like make Ethan isolated from like other parts of the internet, stuff like that. But then he was doing stuff like this when he was like, you know, saying the N-word and shit. It's just so weird to me. The internet was so, it really is different times, I gotta say. My mouse will never work again.
Hi, we're the Windbakers.
This is my friend Sven Wyndham.
And this is my friend, Windy Draft.
And we would like to introduce our other friend,
Oh my gosh.
Fresh Aaron.
Thank you.
They make him look like a little baby.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
My great friend.
We all hail from a very windy region of Earth where we enjoy baking.
Everything better in the wind.
Although we love the wind so much, we don't want it to break us.
No.
And so we're wearing our windbreakers.
We're wearing some protective gear. In order to take you on a recipe of wind excursion, we need to summon the wind. There it is.
All right, bring it on.
Bring the wind up. Oh my goodness! That is a strong wind.
Would you guys like some windy wine?
Yes, some windy wine!
Here we go. That's a great way to start the recipe. I didn't get very much in my glass.
Take some wine!
And now we are going to teach you how to make the most romantic dish on the planet, lasagna.
But first, we're going to start with a salad.
I love salad!
Would you
No, that's what I'm saying. Rhett, I think Rhett is like 6'6" though, so he's just a big guy. It's because they're both tall. Rhett and Link are both tall, so them standing next to each other always looks like normal. But then you just throw any other person into the mix, and then you realize, like, oh, okay.
Getting a little bit of the food on your body is just part of Windbakers. My mother was covered in marinara when she flew off of the cliff. When she landed in the ocean, she became clean again, but she was dead.
See, if Ethan ever does another collab with Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link in any way, I hope it's something like this. We just need some more goofs and gaffes. You know, but no N-words in this. Interesting. Different crowds, I guess. That is, I'm just not going to get over that a little bit. His perspective on Israel-Palestine, which is just literally a nuanced, progressive perspective, is somehow worse than back when he used to just say the N-word. And honestly, Joji can't get mad about Ethan talking about Filthy Frank until he takes down those videos. Because, like, if you're just gonna, I mean, what's, like, come on, man, you're the one leaving it up. It's archived. It's about looking on the past with a reflective eye.
We have to add some bechamel.
So, yeah, this was on Valentine's Day. Aw. What a lovely video. Back in 2018.
That's very tasty. And now we put the lasagna in the oven for 35 minutes on 350 degrees. Open the door. Open the oven. Maybe I gotta force it. Enjoying your lasagna. And taking us, and of course, the wind. Of course, the wind. We are the Windbakers, and now we will blow away. Next up.
Pretty good stuff. Okay, but now I'm going to go through a few Reddit posts that I have pulled up, and then we will move on to tier list. I have 2 tier lists. I don't know if we'll be able to get through both of them, but definitely try. So the first thing I saw on Reddit that I thought was pretty good was this new Rizzler noise. Everybody loves a good Rizzler soundbite.
Light it up! Light it up! Light it up, baby!
He really is just Tiny Godzilla. Hear that one more time.
Light it up, baby!
Absolute legend. That kid's going places, you know. So I will say, I keep seeing stuff about Hassan, and I keep saying that people need to stop just talking about Hassan, but this one does reference Ethan at the very least, so. Comme si, comme ça, whatever the French phrase is. So. So Hassan community waking up and seeing the gross anti-America propaganda. Say what you want about Joe Biden and the loss to Trump, but having a community of his size and having the power to sway a lot of voters against Trump and not utilize that, Looks like his community is waking up to the BS. Then you got others saying Biden is a Jewish supremacist. Thank you, Ethan, for swaying me out of his insane community's ideology. And yes, I'm still a leftist and not alt-right. The MSM is already actively laundering the reputation of a war criminal who oversaw the genocide of Palestinians, whose selfish nature allowed Trump to win a second term. Are you sure it wasn't his feeble mind and body that allowed Trump to kind of just stumble on in? Joe Biden is an awful monster. Prostate cancer doesn't change that. Yeah, it's just like, yes, but an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. How many child level sayings do we need to spit at Hassan until he understands that like this level of vitriol against people is just so it's not just bad and wrong, it's ineffective and doesn't it doesn't promote change in any way. But you're deeply evil because you're unable to spend. So this is from John Willow, who I don't know who that is, but you're deeply evil. Probably just someone. I don't know. He might be a somebody. I might just be out of the loop. You're deeply evil because you're unable to spend 5 seconds feeling sad for someone with cancer. You're self-obsessed and determined to spend your entire life hating everyone around you. Bit interesting. And these are some different people. You won't take sides in Russia's genocide of Ukraine, but call Biden a war criminal after his cancer diagnosis is made public. Remember when you lionized Assad? Interesting. All of Joe Biden's children married. To be fair, though, this is on Twitter where it's like, were you even really leftists to begin with? I never really used Twitter. I only ever made accounts and then deleted them shortly after because I didn't. All of Joe Biden's children's married Jews. What the fuck? We have a serious problem in America. We are under a Jewish supremacist occupation. It's so funny when people go, Ethan, look at you're siding with Keemstar now. Keemstar is on your side. But then it's like, these are like, it is just like a funny thing to be like, look at the company you keep. But it has to be said that if you are saying things that racists or bigoted people are using, to espouse more hate, then you have to do your due diligence to make sure that you're clarifying as much as possible. Because he wants to be like, oh no, what I'm saying isn't anti-Semitic at all. Nothing I say is ever anti-Semitic. When it's just like, even the most fucking basic, this is a bad statement, but it's just so stupid. People are gonna bring up Jews and bring up random shit. It's so weird. This is so gross. Just like how mass rapes and terror attacks don't change the fact that Jews don't deserve to defend themselves, right? Yeah, so again, it's hard to say that these people were super big Hassan fans. I'm sure people will be like, if you just did the littlest bit of research, you'll see that all of these people were actually Hassan haters all along. But regardless, I think the points still stand. Hate begot hate? Something? I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. So then we have Noah Samson. He raised a lot of money for charity, so shout out, for what it's worth. But during his stream, he brought on Hassan and Bad Empanada for a debate where it's so funny because Bad Empanada looks like he wants to explode the whole time and go on a fucking tirade. But they're doing this thing of don't you see? Leftists can get along. We're good people. I'm your favorite right-wing channel. I should be. But they're like, well, don't you guys see the leftists are actually good people that can all get along? But then they still had a few times where they're a little bit pointed. You can see some daggers are aimed. Yeah, every time I go on Twitter, I just see people talking about Hitler and like any. Here's the thing. I'll just admit it. I'm a bad person. I like looking at crime footage and like, you know, third world countries, you know, terrible stuff that happens around the world, because it's not like I'm like enthralled by it, but I am interested in I'm interested in humanity as a whole. But all the time when I look into this stuff and see these different things, all of the comments are just filled with people being racist and saying shit about, you know, the most common one that people say is you'll just always see people be like, usual suspects, as if every, you know, group of people hasn't committed mass murders. It's never the groups, always the individuals. But yeah, anyways, let's hear him out. First it was Ian, now Hassan dunks on Noah Samson during his own charity stream.
God damn, there's nothing dumber than a fucking slop tuber enjoyer who unironically has an inflated sense of fucking intelligence from watching some of the dumbest people on the planet try to talk about complex political issues. There's nothing that
Well dressed as like a cat boy maid. Yeah.
breaks my goddamn.
Because like he could try and argue like, well, I'm actually knowledgeable. I know what I'm talking about. Why does it look like Bad Empanada's laughing at him too?
There's nothing dumber than a fucking slop tuber enjoyer who unironically has an inflated sense of fucking intelligence from watching some of the dumbest people on the planet try to talk about complex political issues. There's nothing that breaks.
It is just funny why do I feel like I probably look more interested watching them than they ever do like talking to each other. Like, I swear, they never look interested when each other are talking. They're just like, very interesting. The cancer diagnosis is Hasbara. It is. It's actually just a cover-up, apparently. How does that even make any sense? Joe Biden getting cancer, it doesn't make him a good person. It's just that we are not them. We do not act bad because others act bad. I am not him. Like, it's just so weird. It's just such a weird thing. Like, if Hassan got cancer, I'd be like, hey, that sucks. That's terrible. I hope you get through this. My thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family. So on and so forth. But, I don't know. It's spewing hate. What have I missed? A lot. Basically, if you haven't seen, Noah Samson got Hassan in a nice little tongue twitch here, but he got Hassan and Bad Empanada to talk. I stammered that out pretty bad, but they were really. It really just is just so funny to me. Let's watch it. I tried to watch it in full, but I'm telling you, the energy was so bad. It's like the energy had been vacuumed out hours prior to when I had like joined in.
You think that U.S. troops should be a protected class who, you know, like, actually an interesting thing about YouTube rules is you're allowed to.
Yeah, if you can't, if Hassan can't even reach the level of hospitality, whatever, that Trump can when talking about Biden, like, come on. It's not, even like from just an optics perspective, it's not going to look good to anybody but like extremists. Nobody on the right is going to like it. They're going to hate it. And on the left, or like, because on the right, people are going to be like, oh, these people are eating their own. They're this, like, you know what I mean? They're all going to be like, oh, what the fuck? But then on the left, like, you have the people that think, oh, that's too far, and the people that think, well, he's right. He should have gotten cancer. If it should have come sooner. Like, come on, guys. At this point, what's the benefit of him even getting cancer? The benefit to them is just the thought in their head being able to be like, he's gonna die of cancer now instead of dementia and old age. So weird. But Hassan, Bad Empanada, and Noah Samson commiserating that you can't call for the deaths of U.S. soldiers on Twitch without violating their TOS.
Do you think that U.S. troops should be a protected class who, you know, like, actually an interesting thing about YouTube rules is you're allowed to call for the deaths of soldiers.
Yeah, you can't do that in Twitch either. Twitch, that's part of the reason why I got banned initially with the 9/11 stuff. Wasn't because
Woo, we can't wish for death upon people. Woo. Come on, guys. They're allowed to kill people, but I can't wish them death. Yeah, it's probably bad. It's okay to talk with your friends about it. If you like see somebody on the news that, like, you know, killed a bunch of children, to think, yeah, man, I hope they bring back the guillotine for this guy. But in the world, we have to just be more like, I don't know, we have to be a bit more righteous than the people that, like, you know, bring the depravity. And that doesn't mean to not do executions if it, you know, reaches that level, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I don't think execution is probably not. Throw them in a hole, no, but I don't know. It's a complicated issue, but regardless, wishing the death upon them is even beyond that. So, God damn it! Why does Reddit always mute the tab?
like doing the you know, doing the Al-Aqsa flood thing while also like looking for Gila Klein by name specifically. You have to understand.
No, that didn't happen. That part didn't happen. That I never mentioned her name.
Secretary.
Ethan, let me explain what happened there. Okay, so Ethan he misconstrued a clip where I was in that game, and the AI in that game is extremely. It's either the AI is very good or it's very bad, and by that I mean I don't know if the designer intended for the opponents to be really stupid or not. So like my first experience in that game is like I walk up to two Israeli soldiers right next to them and they don't react. And I said, are these a bunch of Ethan Kleins on an Ozempic binge? Like as in, are these fucking morons? Are they high on like drugs? And
yeah,
Ethan Klein took that and he's like, he was saying this is me. He was saying this is me and simulating killing me. That's the sort of thing that he was referring to in that.
I think you can understand how that could be misconstrued, considering that the entire thing that you're engaging in is already considered like.
Well, I don't think Ethan ever brought that part up. He literally has only ever focused on the part where Bad Empanada literally said, "Where the secretaries at? Where the secretaries? Where they at?" Come on.
I think it was hilarious. You're laughing, don't lie.
Well,
no,
the part I always think about is the fact that Bad Empanada ran around killing people in the game and then went, "What's the point of this game? What am I even doing? What's the actual point?" It's like, yes, you get it. You understand.
I'm just saying that like when you do that, people are going to, so many people that would otherwise like
It was just a misconstrued point. What do you mean? He just took, when I called his name out while killing Israelis, and then like he just misconstrued that as me saying I want to kill him. It's just so weird. Like, I should just go on. We should go on GTA roleplay. Just start running around, calling out different YouTubers and different people, different celebrities. Be like, this is what I want to do to them. But I'm gonna do it. I mean, in the game. If they ever create an account, that's what I'm gonna do to them in the game. Okay, but why do people think it's okay to disparage mental health issues so casually? It's your manic, desperate behavior that makes me think you're on drugs. Girl, what Manic equals you are on drugs, and you can't even finish a sentence half the time. Also, not drugs, girly. People have a lot of things happening that can cause that without drugs. One extremely common thing being ADHD. Girl, what? I am angry. I've had manic episodes and I have ADHD. So I'm just like confused why someone who is so progressive is saying this shit about mental health conditions. LOL. I don't know. So this is about Anissa saying, because I guess let me read her thing. She said, "No way he's on the full alt-right incel pipeline. Bah! He thinks I'm the evil witch. It's your manic, desperate behavior that makes me think you're on drugs. What makes you think that he's inbred? But you can't even finish a sentence half the time. Your tics have nothing to do with it. Post this on Twitter, pussy." This is like are we in high school? Is everybody back in high school now? Post this on Twitter, pussy. Say this to my internet face. You call me an incel red pill loser and say, post this on Twitter, pussy. Isn't your account private? You understand that posting on Twitter supports the ultimate red pill incel loser, Elon Musk. That's why I'm not on it. Clearly, you need the validation so bad that you are willing to forego any actual conviction you might have. But if we've learned anything in the past month, it's that you guys are much more comfortable with Nazis than I previously thought. Hiccups. But yeah, and then oh no, he posted he was doing the Nazi salute. This is why he posted it. And he said the N-word. I'm just not gonna get over that. I did not pre-watch that video. I should have. Now that looking back, but that was pretty funny, pretty wild. Not surprising though, actually. But yeah, I've been trying to see. My whole thing is that I think in general, people need to just remove any type of disparaging language out of their vocabulary. Like you can diminish individuals without diminishing groups. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain because using terms like inbred or any kind of even if you want to talk about you saying idiot or stupid, those used to be IQ terms. On some level, things are just always going to change where it'll become a new word. Like Hassan, I've heard him call people neurodivergent instead of saying calling people autistic or retarded. And is that better? Is that a better thing to do? I think it's worse, frankly, but if we want to be accurate, they're all probably as bad because they were all used at one point to diminish people of with diminished mental capacities. So just saying. It's hard because it's so easy to look at somebody and go, this makes no sense, so you're stupid. But I guess we need to oh my god, I'm just stammering over everything because none of it makes sense, but it all makes sense. We need to be better at calling people out without just jumping to insults straight away. I know I'm not going to be the best at it. I'm going to keep calling people stupid every day of my life. But it's about espousing the values that you could never hold yourself. Does that make you a hypocrite? Maybe. But it's to hope for a better future. One that is better than you. I did see this, and I will say that this is probably the only... Anissa is the one person who has retracted or gone back on any of the statements made. So we got to give credit where credit is due. Anissa's response to her Joseph Mengele comments. Thoughts? Personally, I think her comment about the experiments was the worst thing she said done during this controversy. I mean, I guess. It kind of comes down to if you want to pull the same card that a lot of people pull with Ethan and Hila. How much do you want to believe that they're involved? But the back and forth that she has done, and like the continuations of the talking about it, has come from her. So she's at least kept the ball rolling. So I don't know. I don't have a full dossier of everything that she said, but this was her retracting the Joseph Mengele comment. That video of me is horrifically embarrassing on my part, and I was unaware at the time that I was pushing neo-Nazi talking points. It was disgusting of me, and I have no problem apologizing for it, and have so in the past. We can all grow and should grow, except for Ethan, I guess. I never once said it was a good thing, but I did spread misinformation that there was medical advancements found through it, which is completely untrue, and the torture innocent people went through is inexcusable, and I am truly sorry I ever parodied that rhetoric. So, I mean, she did take it back. She took it back better than Hassan takes stuff back, but she didn't actually, like... She did try and, like, be like, well, I never said it was a good thing, but I'm sorry, so... Let's drop it. I've grown a lot in the 7 years since that stream clip, and I will continue to grow. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm going to start judging Ethan based on that 9-year-old clip I just saw. I'm saying. Not even long ago, but they're going to call it a reach. People can change. So this was a little while ago. Oh, wow. This was back in March. This is the guy you're defending, by the way. Hutch posted this. The guy said... It was the guy that everybody's like, you're just being Islamophobic to random Twitter posters. And this guy said at one point, every day should be October 7th. And honestly, Ethan should have just replied to this one or replied to other comments that this guy made. Obviously, it was different, but what he replied to is, I'm in South Beach having fun on drugs. And Ethan said, enjoy your drugs and being a sex worker. Hamas would kill you on the spot. Just pointing out the hypocrisy of defending Hamas when you, like, are pro-progressive values. Because it's not even, again, nobody's saying don't support the Palestinian cause. Don't support Palestinians. Don't try and reform the Israeli government. But what people are saying is, don't defend Hamas. And saying things like every day should be October 7th, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. And he should know that Hamas would fucking kill you too, dog. They wouldn't just look at you and go. And then fucking run away. Like, what are you talking about? But, legendary AAB moment. Love you, King. Get it, King. Get it.
Tremendous job by these two educating their audience about Israel's genocidal actions during prime viewing hours. This is pure optics. They have no intent in educating themselves or anyone about Israel's genocide.
Throwing my ass on, trying to get banned. Throwing my ass on. Ban me. Ban me! I'm losing it! I'm gonna streak. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. I'm gonna fucking lose. I'm fucking...
Maybe a little caked up. Yeah, Dr. Kirk, I don't know. It seemed like he was willing to be like, he was the willful idiot, you know what I mean? He was somebody that was just like, oh, you're a big creator, you want to get me involved in a video? Okay, what's the narrative you have? Okay, yeah, we can talk about this, and like, you know, we can discuss some things. But then when he asked him the actual, like, can you change the I feel like that was when the mask slipped a little bit, and Dr. Kirk Honda went, maybe this was a bad idea.
I'm losing it. I'm fucking...
Oh, you're right. It was the BBL. Just rolling around. No.
I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out. There's no fucking way these people are real. I showed the BBL. Dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're sparring now? Like, how do I get the point across? These people are fucking insane. They're so insane that I'm okay to do this on camera while calling them insane. Like, you guys know why I fucking do this shit? It's because I want to show them that I think you are such a fucking joke. That I'm okay acting insane. I'm okay with you clipping me because you are such a fucking joke. This shit is fucking wild. This is fucking wild. They're saying that we're using it. We're using it. No, don't blame Daughter for this. We love Daughter. They're saying that we wasted prime hours by sparring. Holy fucking shit.
No, yeah, everybody just thinks that, like, I don't know why everyone assumes that people are so, like, invested in spreading propaganda. It's not even like invested in a certain perspective. It's invested in spreading the propaganda of that perspective. I feel like it's just projection on some level.
Shit. Holy fucking shit.
It's like nobody actually thinks, oh, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split up my time. So right now, we've hit 20,000 views. Time for me to not talk about anything important so that I can lose my viewership rather than milking it for more engagement. Makes a whole lot of sense.
Did the robe not say anything?
It's like talking about it would bring the money. Like, not to be, but like, what is it really just all about the propaganda? It's all about spreading Israel's hatred. I don't get it.
Thing maybe that could, help advocate for Palestine. Maybe there was a little hint there, maybe a little bit. The taint floss is a solid move, boss. Thank you. Was there not something that indicated on the robe? Here, I could show it off, and you can tell me how I'm wasting prime advocacy time. Tell me. And by the way, the Snarkers recently said we need to put all attention on AB. Clearly, he's close to crashing out. He's gonna be he's the first one we can get to leave. Y'all understand how stubborn I am. I'm loving this. I'm having the best time ever. I will fucking stay just to spite you motherfuckers. So bring it. Okay, is there anything that indicates yeah, 500 upvotes, by the way. Anything that indicates, something for Palestine? Can you read? Can they read? I wonder. Okay.
They gotta let Lena fight somebody. Lena has to beat the shit out of Ethan. The only thing that's fair. I guess we can watch the clip first and that with
nutrition so they can stay healthy and alive.
Oh, we got Bad Ammo Panda in chat. Doing a fundraiser stream just so you can point to it next time you get called out for sending Ethan a genocide propaganda article is pathetic. Good luck on the next plastic surgery. Good luck on being fucking insane and making all pro-Palestinians look fucking insane. Good job. I think you are by far the worst thing I don't mind referring to you as a fucking thing, actually, to be honest. I think you are the worst thing for the fucking movement. You are the fucking biggest embarrassment. And if I ever wanted to make the pro-Palestinian movement look bad, I would just have to find you. But actually, I wouldn't have to look far because, again, you'd be right on my dick.
I do think that it's so funny that this was what, the day before, or yeah, this was like the day before, or like right before Bad Empanada went on the stream with Noah Samson. So he's basically like, these people that want to like keep like promoting him. I wanted to showcase another thing, that thing from him again. If anybody needs more, if anybody hasn't seen this and needs more of a reason to not like Bad Empanada, Drew Pavlov, Iceberg Journal. Open source, the legal destruction of Bad Empanada. Basically, Bad Empanada tried to get a video of his taken down, and so he sent a letter back. Yeah, that's what it was. He tried to get a video. Bad Empanada tried to get a video of Drew Pavlov's taken down, or something along those lines, and then, or no, it was for defamation for a tweet or something, and then Drew sent back, had his legal team send back a letter exposing all of the things that showed the lack of credibility that Bad Empanada has, with all of the different statements, crazy stuff that he said on Twitter, archived all of it for the download of the masses. So if you want to see the terrible, 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 terrible things that Bad Empanada says, to understand the mind of madness. Nah, for real. The fact that his name is Giantus, I don't know. It's something like Giantitis. That's what I like to call him. But yeah, so I read this on one of my streams, but if you want to go check it out, it's on his it's called again, Substack. Yeah, it's Drew Pavlov's Substack. Go check it out. But this was interesting, and we're almost there. We're about to get into the tier lists. Riveting content. But sorry, was reading chat for a second. I'm so sorry to hear that about your aunt. Georgie Borgie has affected too many people. But one of the original underage victims of James Charles has spoken out again. This guy, who happens to also be called Ethan, was 14 at the time. It's important to note that James accused him of lying about his age, followed by threats of legal action. However, there are also screenshots of the same conversation where Ethan denies those claims. As far as I can gather, there is no way of proving who is speaking the truth on this particular matter, although I'm inclined to believe Ethan. Also, the court of public opinion seems to have ruled that Ethan had an obvious baby face at the time, so it would have been easy to assume he was a minor. Especially as James was FaceTiming the guy. It should have been obvious. To play devil's advocate, there is a possibility this person is jumping on the bandwagon of the Kayla Malik situation for clout, except he has every right to speak on this since James publicly apologized for his underage victims in his old deleted apology video. Truly interesting stuff. So let's see. This guy kind of has a baby face now.
Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you. Before I get into the story, I want to say I am not meaning to hurt anyone's career or damage anyone's reputation. I just keep seeing things pop up on my page, and it's sickening, and it triggers me in a way, you know. But back when I was 14, you know, I wanted to do social media.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at him. I was reading chat and just saw Alex say, James Charles took advantage of Ethan when he was 14? Why hasn't Ethan Klein talked about this? But, serious. I'm listening now, paying attention. I'm fully focused.
Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you. Before I get into the story, I want to say I am not meaning to hurt anyone's career or damage anyone's reputation. I just keep seeing things pop up on my page, and it's sickening, and it triggers me in a way, you know. But back when I was 14, you know, I wanted to do social media my whole life. It's something I really loved and enjoyed doing. I started blowing up. I maybe created my account 7 months prior before I turned 14 years old. I ended up blowing up, maybe around 700,000 followers on TikTok. Everything was doing good. I loved it. It was just amazing. James Charles commented under my post and liked the video, and it was exciting. You know, that's the biggest creator I've ever been in contact with or ever commented or liked my post, you know. Anyways, he ends up following me and he messages me, hey, I obviously respond. I'm excited, but that's where everything went downhill. It got really, really weird. Anyways, when we start going back and forth on TikTok, he initiates after a few days, hey, add me on Snap. I'm like, okay, you know, I was trying to hide the fact that I was
Why is James Charles not in jail? Honestly, people don't talk about it enough, but the abuse of young boys gets pushed aside or brushed off much more often than the abuse of young girls. And obviously, the abuse of anybody should be like properly handled, but it seems to be that especially in the gay community, people will just say, well, that's what happens. There are a lot of people, older guys will meet younger boys, and like, yeah, and it's not okay. And if you think about it, at least like in the past, it would make it made sense why young gay men were like singled out by predators, because they were, you know, probably individuals that were more isolated, especially if they hadn't come out yet, and would have found, you know, maybe some comfort in somebody that's similar to them that's older. And it's terrible, but those things do just seem to get ignored and talked about because the predation is never justifiable.
Excited, you know, it was really cool. I was hoping that this was gonna jumpstart my career even more into being an influencer, being someone, you know, making others happy, and just that was my intention the whole entire time. Anyways, me and James start going back and forth on Snap, and he eventually asked me.
Yeah, and when things are just, and that's why going public with things before you take them legally isn't going to be the best option, because as Hua said, sorry, I didn't mean to say, as Hua said, I feel like at the time there were so many things that were coming out, some true, some not, that it didn't help the true victims. And when you have people that are willing to lie, even just for a little like momentary clout, all it does is hurt people that truly were victimized, and can negate even if you're wanting to be like, it happened to them, it might negate from the story that they tell to where you don't think it's like a whole truth. But let's keep going.
Me, you know, what do I plan on doing long term? So obviously my social media was picking up and et cetera, et cetera. But at the time, I really didn't know. I knew I wanted to be something and be someone and help others and just being an amazing person and spread awareness on social media, all that stuff. And I couldn't really give him an answer because I didn't know. It was, yeah, I wanted to, but is it something I really could do, you know? Eventually ended up telling him I wanted to get into modeling or acting or maybe even both. And, you know, he was very supportive about that, you know. He said, oh my God, you'd be such a good model, you know. You would do so well modeling and just stuff like that. And obviously I didn't see anything of it. I was young. I was happy he was saying I could do that, especially coming from a really big and noticeable influencer, you know. I thought it was great. Brother kind of didn't tell me in a way, but my brother he kind of let me do my own thing, but he kind of noticed. You know, he didn't.
I will say I'm no like, you know, movement analyst. I can't read his face, but his energy seems real. Like he seems nervous almost talking about this, and that's understandable. But I don't know. It would be a high level of, it wouldn't just be lying. He would be doing like a high level of acting, I feel like, here.
how do I word this? My brother didn't think about it as the way I thought about it. My brother kind of noticed something and I could tell, but it's just, he was kind of just letting me do my own thing. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm just going to jump into a more detailed version of it. I know y'all been waiting. I'm sorry. So James started getting extremely comfortable with me. And I just, I was so excited. I didn't really realize it at the time. We were FaceTiming, which I will pull it up right here in this clip, this next clip.
I don't think so. At least.
When I was single and using dating apps, I found James Charles' official Tinder. I was only looking for women, so he for sure put female as his profile to look for straight men. Okay, Alex, sure you did. Sure you only put... Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I would totally believe that. And it... I mean, that's a tactic. That's one way. Interesting.
Anyway, so that part...
I bet you it works, too. I bet you it works.
That a friend of mine recorded just because he thought it was pretty cool as well, and I thought it was something cool to have, and I didn't think about it.
Now we're gonna be doing the tier list next.
Way to hurt him, and it stresses me out.
Just need to finish this video.
My life was ruined because everyone thought that. It just like, it's irritating talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyways, James started becoming super aggressive with me. He would ask me to send him photos of my happy trail, which I didn't even have at the time, and because I was 14, I didn't have a happy trail, and I had armpit hair, but you didn't ask for that. And I kind of avoided the question because it made me super, super uncomfortable.
Do you guys think Hassan made his Twitter the armpit photo purely for James Charles?
I'm sorry, I lied, actually. I told him I shaved my happy trail because I was afraid to tell him that I didn't have a happy trail or have any hair on my body other than my armpit hair. So I'm sorry, I lied about that. Anyways, he kind of started being aggressive extremely after that. He told me, well, don't shave your happy trail grin. Again, because I liked that. And he was very intense about how he said it. I know it doesn't sound bad, but it was only if you could be in my shoes when that happened. It made me super, super uncomfortable. Anyways, I go to bed that night and I wake up to his sent to me. And it made me very, very uncomfortable. He would send me a photo of his behind in the mirror, and he also sent me a video of him in the shower, which those videos are somewhere on the internet. He would send me a photo of his behind in the mirror, and he also sent me a video of him in the shower.
Okay, just naked. I don't know why was that bleeped. I thought he said masturbated for a second, like masturbating. But I'm trying to lip read here.
Sent me a video of him in the shower.
He said naked.
Those videos are somewhere on the internet. I'm sure you can find it. If I looked, I could probably find them in a Google Drive that we actually had for my lawyer. Anyways, he started realizing that I wasn't into that. He started kind of making threats towards me.
That's even crazier. I was just gonna pause it and say that, it's like textbook grooming. Just the slow build up, oh, let me see your smile. Oh, send me some pictures of your muscles. Take your shirt off and show me your muscles. Oh, you have nice armpit hair. Let me see that. Oh, can I see your abs, your happy trail? Let me see. And then just slowly trying to work it in. I'm like, this is okay. This is okay. Insane. And then now moving on to threats. James Charles is a textbook abuser and predator, and should definitely if one individual doesn't have a case, they need to figure out how to do a class action or something, because I feel like there's probably enough people.
Saying he was going to diminish my career. He could easily ruin my career. Just all types of nonsense, and it was bad. Okay, it was really, really, really bad. Started getting super, super intense. He started saying he was going to ruin my career, go out and tell people I was gay and I was closeted, which isn't an issue. That's not an issue at all, but it was still the fact that I was a 14-year-old boy, and it scared me. It freaked me out. Anyway, so that's when I made that video. There's a lot more that happened in the story, but this video is about 5 minutes long, so I will be making a part 2. Thank you guys. By the way, I just want to say I am not trying to diminish anyone's career. I'm not trying to ruin anyone. I'm just getting my story out once again because it was put under the rug, and it's not fair to anybody that has gone through this. Now, if you're watching this in the same situation that's happened to you, not necessarily with James Charles, but other people, just know I'm here for you. I'm there. Trust me, I've been through it, and there's so many other people behind you. It took a lot for me to make this video, and it's going to take a lot for me to make a part 2, but I have amazing people by my side, and I'm so thankful for that. So you can always reach out to me.
No, I think he means he doesn't want to ruin James Charles's career, but that shouldn't matter, bro. Do it. You need to. His career exists to the end of, like, abuse and predation, predatory behavior. I was expecting some comments. I'm wondering about the part 2, but I'm not going to go looking for it right now. Rhett Ethan. But, yeah, so interesting. Rhett Ethan. Ethan and Rhett. There we go. Wow, it's all full circle. Small world, am I right? But, okay, let's move on now. So, the first one I have isn't a tier list. It's something, because I found a tier list of the crew, which I was like, okay. But then what I thought would be more interesting is to do an alignment chart of the crew. To figure out if they side with Ethan, if they want to save the show, if they're all for peace and love, or if they like going goblin. And I do have some of the old crew members because we got to show love. But so those will be talking about when they were on the show, where did they stand. But then I also have this one which I had found. So we'll do this one second because it's way longer, but it's H3 enemies tier list. So there's Forgiven, Frenemies. Who is Sam? I couldn't think of a good third tier, so it was basically just people that we know, there just hasn't been any news from them. They can't be a frenemy because they don't do anything anymore, but so we don't really remember them. Then the Button, getting bad, and then death to all of them. That's our worst tier. We got a good list here, and it was actually made by Love back in 2022. So we'll get to this one second just because it'll be so long. But let's start with this one. Just because it should go quick. We don't need to go too crazy here. Mexican loves mayonnaise tier list. Okay, let's do that instead. They're in the eel pit. Honestly, that's a decent one. In the eel pit. Okay, but let's start this off. So we're going to put, obviously, Ethan is always going to side with himself and be in goblin mode. So we're going to throw him here. So we'll do this all in reference to Ethan. And I guess it's not always goblin mode, but this version of Ethan, yes. Jolly Ethan. But our next one is AB. This is the one that I feel like is a bit interesting because I know he's going to side with Ethan. And he started to come more into the goblin mode, ranking recently. But he is more of a peace and love kind of guy. So what do you guys think? Here, I'm going to put on some background. Just so completely silent. I have like a bunch of royalty free. Ooh, super loud. That down. something subtle. Something just playing right in the back. Right in the back, sounded nice. Wire side with Ethan and save the show opposite sides. So when Ethan, because Ethan is in goblin mode here. So the idea is if you have things that Ethan are saying versus hitting the button or trying to like, you know, change the subject, trying to redirect. I feel like people like Zach, for example, would probably be more on the side with Ethan rather than just going to jump ship. AB would slightly lean peace and love to save the show. So should we put him more in the middle here? Sorry, I have Zach kind of in the way. Feminism is a problem. That's what I'm saying. We got all the girlies here. Move them all in, because all they want is peace and love, man. It's not cool. Okay, I'm adding too many here. Sorry. So we're saying AB is probably more centered. Oh no, it set it up all wrong. Peace and love. Fucked it up. Don't let me do that anymore. Okay. Goblin mode for Zach. Yeah, let's do Zach next. We'll get to the girlies towards the end. So Zach is more in goblin mode, so he's in the goblin mode side. But how far into goblin mode is Zach? Is he a heavy goblin? So he definitely hard sides with Ethan. We can agree. I think we can all agree on that. But then it would just be how far on the goblin meter is he, and I guess that just depends on the day. I'd say he's you know what? I'm actually gonna go a little bit over, purely because the sound bites. He goes for what Ethan wants, but they were having that debate on the last episode about using what sound bites he uses and how often he uses them. There's a method to his madness as well. Oh, I wish I had Tom's song too. I need to find that. I just pulled these from I literally searched for like an hour on the YouTube music stuff, figure out what was free. Not all the way. Yeah, like 2/3. Doing like here. It really does depend on the day for Zach. That's the thing. I think like here is good. He's kind of floating. If we fill in some more people, we'll like, you know what I mean? We'll be able to like decide if he needs to move over or not. But I think that's good for now. So let's move on to Cam. I think this will be an interesting one. We'll do Dan next, but I think Cam is kind of a wild card for us because while he was on the show, he was coming with the memes, right? But he's very peace and love. So I don't think he would be so side with Ethan purely because of his peace and love nature. You have Tom's song? If you could send it as a file. Yeah, I mean, do it however you can. Yeah, please, thank you. He used to be Goblin mode a lot more. Okay, we'll move him down a little bit then on Goblin mode. That's fair. Oh, you don't think he's... Oh, you think he's closer to Goblin mode. True. I don't think he could be peace and love for sure. He's a loving guy, but Zach's the king of the Jews after all. Mid-side with Ethan for Cam. 100% peace and love. You guys are right. Peace and love and lead to save the show. Interesting. See, we have a little bit of some discourse here. I think that he would side with Ethan purely because of the memes. He's coming with the memes. He's coming in heavy. So we'll do like here. We'll do like 1/3 from the middle here. because this is my list. But now we have Dan. Dan is definitely going to lean save the show. I think that's true. Dan is definitely on save the show. But is he peace and love or goblin mode? Dan goes heavy sometimes. He definitely does. Oh yeah, if you have a Alex, if you have a like Google Drive, you should make a folder and share it with me. But if you don't have them on Google, that's just the easiest way to share documents without having to download some cloud app. Got distracted. We're doing the tier. So this is the alignment chart. So we're trying to decide, do they more side with Ethan? Do they want to save the show, hit the button, get him to change the subject? Or, you know, and are they peace and love or goblin? We're on Dan right now. Goblin Dan is my favorite Dan, and that's why I think I'm swayed to put him on this side. But him saving the show, I think it's like you kind of go in these two. Because when you're goblin mode, you're definitely going to side with Ethan. But when you're save the show, you're definitely more peace and love. AB and Cam are just kind of the wild cards here. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of save the show goblin mode. But I think Dan is where we reach into that a little bit. I'll never show the wrong folder. I make sure to keep my stuff all partitioned. We're all isolated here. No, yeah, when Dan was coming at Jimmy, that's what I'm saying, is Dan comes with the goblin energy sometimes. Like, versus Jimmy Lee, he was heavy-handed. He wasn't going to be pushed around by some old fucking man. Like, come on. So I think we'll put him right here for now. We'll keep him in here we'll put him 2/3 to save the show. Because he's definitely Ethan's biggest pushback, but he's about 1/3 of the way down goblin mode. Purely because Dan comes with the heat sometimes. So I think this is a fair placement. You know, I said they're mostly going to be here and here, but we're getting all kinds of placements. Yeah, the content core, that's what I'm saying is maybe we'll do half. Let's do half. Because yeah, content core and sketches, Dan gets in full, you know, theater kid energy, and it's perfect. You're right. Half goblin mode, half peace and love. We'll do the 1/3 then for that, or I don't know. It's so interesting. Yeah, we'll have to do the. You're right. That is aggressive peace and love. You're right. You're right. There is a difference. Goblin mode is going the full, like unabashed, crazy takes. So we'll put Dan at the 1/3, because I will say there's some, when he talked about Jimmy Lee, he was like, he had a reason, but he was also just willing to be like, fuck you, you shouldn't have been doing this. So we'll put him at the 1/3, but save the show mostly. You're right. When Ethan comes with receipts, Dan doesn't have a reason to push back. That's why he's not all the way save the show. Because he knows when his boss has a good point. He knows when he needs to let him cook. But now we have Hila. Hila's definitely save the show, peace and love. She can definitely go goblin mode though. That's the thing. Recently, with all the hate they've been getting, she's been showing that goblin energy. But I don't want to call the ladies goblin mode. It feels rude, especially coming from me. So. That is the thing, is Dan is Ethan's biggest hater, but rides for him at the same time, and that's why we love him. Def Goblin. That's the thing, is it's like, yeah, recently she's been going heavy, more heavy on the Goblin mode. She used to be more peace and love, but once the kids got involved, she was definitely here. But she's also side with Ethan. I don't know why. It's hard. She is probably Ethan's biggest detractor in the fact that she can literally come from any which angle at any given like moment, because as his wife, she has the full reign. Just to the left of AB here. I think that's probably fair. Peace and love sides with Ethan. We'll put her more half though. just because, or honestly, here's what we'll do. We're gonna make it like really confusing. AB's moving down just a little bit, and they're both like half and half here. Because let's not forget who started the H3 channel with Ethan. Let's not forget who recorded those early front white, back white videos. Yeah, she went full goblin mode underneath. I feel like this is fair though, because it's like they're both kind of inching towards the other side. He doesn't like to go goblin mode. Hila doesn't like it, but she'll do it. She'll do it as much as she needs to, but she'll push for the peace and love. So we're gonna leave them there for now. I think we're moving in a fair trajectory. Now, Ian. I keep saying it, but they're like almost all wild cards. Where do we put them here? Yeah, see, exactly. Like when it comes to like women's issues or like anytime Ethan is showing that, you know, edgy 2016 energy, she is the voice of reason. But now we have Ian. I miss my friend. I miss my friend Ian. I genuinely have no idea where Ian would go. Ian's peace and love. Ian's peace and love, he's more save the show, but I would put him like less save the show than Dan, or I put him less save the show than Dan purely because I think he'd let it crash and burn. He's like, just let him go. Fuck it. AI Ian is goblin mode. That's the thing, is we have them both here. I feel like something like this is probably fair for Ian, because I don't see him trying to be, he doesn't bring any aggressive energy, but it's the things that he does in the content that's a very goblin. Peace and love in the middle. It's hard. Yeah, it's so hard. We go, Ian's just smack dab in the middle. Ian never picked a side. He's just really so nonchalant and chill. He's so neutral. Here, if I go like this, I wanted to put AB over top of him. He's in for the goofs and gaffes, and that's the thing. I miss Ian. I miss my old friend. I miss my old guy I used to watch on the internet. I'm gonna literally just put him smack dab in the middle for now. How do we feel about that? Let's put him a little bit down then. But I feel like he isn't gonna try and sway Ethan one way or the other. He just lets him go. Yeah, see, this is actually perfect. AI Ian would side with Ethan, but then regular Ian would go to save the show. But then they're both a little bit goblin coded because of the, I mean, how did the AI Ian come to fruition? Well, I'm pretty sure Ian was like, wasn't Ian like trying to be a comedy writer or something? Wasn't that like what he was attempting to be first? Didn't he do like some stand-up comedy and stuff like that? Ian did get the 0 on the personality test. That shows his goblin energy. You're so right. Okay, well, let's do some of the ladies now. Let's move to the ladies. So let's do Sam. Sam is, I'll put her kind of, she's peace and love for sure. But the reason I wouldn't put her full peace and love is because of the, she brought more of the goblin to Ethan. Because she wasn't like aggressive to Ethan or anything, but the faces that she would give to at statements made are definitely where they stand. Yeah, Ian did some stand-up comedy. That's what I thought, which makes sense. I mean, when you're in that kind of, in that world and just like writing and stuff, and maybe you enjoy skits and you can't get some people to do them. Oh yeah, I do remember that. One of his bits was writing jokes on his body, but he sweat and became all blue. Honestly, that's a funnier bit if you really think about it. going up on stage trying to read the stuff and they're all sweated off. So you're just going like, I'm sorry, I just have to read them as is, and just start like skipping over words. That could be interesting. Yeah, her facial expression said it all exactly. But she's definitely saved the show. What are we thinking? Just far save the show? Yeah, because she's not siding with Ethan at all. Yeah, she's very right-wing in this situation. Fair. I'm glad. Okay, yeah, we're all kind of thinking the same thing. We're thinking like right here, something like around this general area. So we'll put her right here for now. See, she's hard peace and love. I'm saying her goblin stuff was only ever towards Ethan, but that's why she's so far on save the show side, because it would be about there, I'd say. But now Lena, as the assistant, she's full peace and love. Lena, I don't think, even in all the controversies, all the conflict, AB has been the one speaking up. Even Lena's been nothing but cordial through all of this. Yeah, no, she was more save the show than Sam was. But Lena, goblin that saves the show is Sam. That's also not a bad point. It's just the actions that she actually took when she was in goblin mode. Feels like she was much more like making cool sets, building, you know, she was their prop designer. So she was in it for the show. But yeah, Lena's goblin a little, but she's definitely sides with Ethan. Lena can go a bit goblin at times. See, she's Joker brained like Zach, though. That's the thing. That's where that comes from. And so maybe I'd put her maybe here on the sides with Ethan. We're going to kind of bunch her up, I think, here. Because I think she might side with Ethan a little bit more than AB. Maybe about half. Yeah, she's ride or die, but she's also willing to push back when it's necessary. Like Zach, I really do feel like, even like if it's ignorance, he's not going to push back at all. Even if it sounds crazy, he'll go, well, I don't know, so who cares? But I feel like there are a few people where even if they don't know anything about the subject, they're willing to go, are we sure? Are we sure that you're like that's true? Are we going to talk about this? Let's make sure we're clear here. They're memeing on Biden's cancer in Hassan's chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's just so crazy. This is the difference between the types of communities that you know, the different types of tier lists we do. The Arab to love Sabra tier list versus the who sides with Ethan alignment chart. And they're, you know, they were just talking about the Ace family on the podcast, and Hassan's talking about Biden's ass cancer. Now talk about a community difference, right? She can be goblin when she wants to. That's why I'm putting her a little bit above AB, because I feel like AB has been the one that's been dipping his toes more in the goblin mode stuff. So I feel like she's a little bit above AB. She's a little bit, I'd say she's probably between Hila and AB, purely because like she sides with Ethan, but I do think like as wifey, Hila's gonna be a little bit more. So maybe we'll push these all over just a little, kind of like that. See, we can move them all around. We have to remember, we can move them all around just a little bit. I feel like this is general. What do we think? I think AB is a bit more of a goblin. So that is true. The waxing. I completely forgot about him waxing. He does go goblin quite a bit. Maybe we'll go like this then. Pull her more down into where AB was. Because I'd say in action, AB is probably more goblin-esque than Ian. Would we say that? Like, I feel like moving it here is kind of like a fair assessment now, because I'd say she dips into the goblin just a bit, but we're not pushing too far, because I can't think of too many times other than like the Joker, her Joker brain stuff, and her like the coffee checking isn't really. I'd say it's not goblin mode, but it is a good bit. She's very much for the show while also being for Ethan. I think kind of where that. So cool. We'll move on to the next one though. Love. Here's where we're gonna get into the. So we'll go Love, then Olivia, then we'll end it. Oh, I forgot Tom. How could I forget Tom? Tom Ward. Sorry. Like I'm pulling it up. So where do we think Love's gonna go though while I'm pulling up this Tom image? There we go. You'd put Love next to AB? Kind of like here-ish? I'd say he probably sides with, yeah, I'd say maybe like, oh, did I really just fuck this up? Oh, you're joking. Go back, please save. Please tell me it's saved. Oh! Oh! Oh my god. Jesus. But I think, as I was saying, I think Love is probably somewhere around here, because I'd say he's gonna side with Ethan a lot more than a lot of the other people, just for the meme of it. Maybe we'll move Zach over just a little bit, because I think just for the meme of it, Love would be about 50%, but he'll push back sometimes as well. Yeah, Love isn't as goblin as AB. Like, Love definitely hasn't had to go like mask off in any way, hasn't had to do too much. Whoa. But I would say Love definitely dips his toes in the goblin waters a lot of the time. Sorry about that. Music jumped out at both of us. All of us. But what do we think about this? Oh, Donna and Gary, you're so right. I didn't want to add I didn't add Trisha or Hassan, because I just felt like that would throw off the scale too much based on like where the shows went. Oh, I didn't add Gallia either. I was going to, but I couldn't find any good images. This was the best one I could find. But if we did, where would we say Gallia would go to? I think Gallia would probably be over here. She's really only a goblin towards Hassan. Getting a screenshot of Mrs. Donna Klein. Save Donna. But how do we feel about Love's placement too? I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But how are we feeling about kind of where it's looking right now? Based on didn't. That's also why I didn't put Galia in, because it's like she hasn't been on enough to really justify having her there. It's the best image I could find. If I went through the actual podcast, I probably could have found a better image of Galia, but that was just the best one I could find on Google Images. Like legitimately, the other ones were like super low res and came out looking really weird. So yeah, that was it. I swear. But then here I gotta add Gary. Good old Gary. On an AVIF file. Gary's face. I always use my snipping tool so I can steal images whenever I want. Give me your Gare Bear. There we go. Get away from my wife. Oh. Well, I added Gary in. Where's Gary going? Yeah, I think Galia would probably be like here. Her only goblin mode stuff I've seen is towards Hassan, but that's not even like goblin mode because it's justified and reasonable considering that she's Ukrainian, so I can't even like discount her for that. But where are we putting Gary? Gary loves his son, and I don't think he cares too much about the show, so this is a bit interesting. And Gabe, oh my god. Yeah, I was just thinking of the lead crew, but you're so right. These people actually do matter. These are our goats. Here's Gabo. Okay, but where's Gary gonna go? We need to figure this out. Where's our Gare Bear going? Yeah, Gary's super... I don't know why I put him in Peace and Love. He's Goblin mode all day. I don't know why I put him in Peace and Love at all. You're so right. What am I talking about? What am I even thinking here? But so Gary's a Goblin. But where do we put him on here? Should we just put him next to his son? I got you, boy. Semi-side with Ethan. We'll kind of put him here then. Because I think that they're probably just aligned on a lot, him and Ethan. But he'd definitely push back if there was anything necessary. But I think that, you know, he's got his son. Yeah, his Twitter likes, his Twitter follows, his sponsorship from what was it? It wasn't Bang Bros. It was what was he sponsored by? Someone will say it. Gary was sponsored by something. See, I think they're just aligned a lot on things though, so I'd put him like here. So let's save here. Let's do Gabe and last. Actually, let's do Olivia next. So Olivia will put at the top of Peace and Love probably, because has she done anything Goblin mode at all? Like that we can think of? Team Skeet. That's it, Team Skeet. Thank you so much. Yes, Team Skeet. Thank you guys, that's great. At least you know I'm not fully porn brained, you know? I don't know them all. Only, maybe 10? Maybe we could name 10. Tried. We wrote them down and spent an hour, maybe. But I'd say Olivia's probably more save the show than a lot of the other people. Yeah, there's not an ounce of Goblin in Olivia. She's very PC. Oh, wait. What am I talking about? Yes, her tweets, Alex. You're so right. Let me pull up that tweet. I just saw this the other day. Does this count as Goblino though? This is just so funny. Ooh, I didn't mean to. Image. There we go. Playing Last of Us. Now, which one of these buttons lets me suck this guy's dick? Amazing. Great stuff. So maybe we'll move her down just a little bit. Just like, kind of like Sam, I would say. She's just an inch down. Yeah, the Last of Us one's my favorite. That is that is like the best tweet anyone could make about a video game. I'm surprised, honestly, there weren't like incels on Twitter trying to like reply being like, imagine if you flipped the roles. What if people were saying this about the 13-year-old girl in the game? Left of Dan? You think she's that goblin? You really think she's that goblin? DoorDasher slitting throat tweet? I don't remember that. What? Mouse is literally tweaked. Am I looking for something? Oh, here we go. Okay, it was Postmate. Okay, I didn't see the tweet, but I found it on this. I guess I could just search on her Twitter, but its delivery man is riding a bike. I'm gonna slit his throat when he gets here. I guess you're right, Alex. I was wrong here. She's definitely a bit more goblin than I first thought. Yeah, you think slightly more to peace and love than Dan? That's fair, that's fair. Because she promotes the peace and love. The peace and love is like coming from her most of the time. But those tweets are hilarious. Pretty crazy. What do we think of that then? I think that's a decent placement for her. It kind of lines up with a lot of these other ones too. We're kind of filling it this way. You can't find it now? It's a pretty bad one. It might have just gotten deleted low-key. That's a pretty crazy tweet to make. But then, let's move. If we're okay with this, we can move on to Nate. Honestly, doing DoorDash or Postmates on a bike is terrible because you're going to, like, the food's going to get cold even if you have it in their bags, like the specialty bags. Like, there's no way that it's not going to go, like, in the elements. Come on. Yeah, I think Twitter removing her tweets definitely puts her here. So we'll move on to Nate now. Nate hasn't had too much. Nate's definitely goblin mode, I have to say. I would say Nate might be more goblin mode than AB. Because he's rapid fire with like the snapping and stuff. But I don't know where he would be in Side with Ethan or Save the Show. Oh, we got a new thumbnail? Let's see where we're at. But what do we think about Nate? I was wondering why I've had this song. I think it gets better. Oh, we're doing the big talk today. Yay, I'll have... Oh my god. Yay, I'm gonna have more content to talk about. Yay! H3 show number 149. What a title. But we got Anissa, we got Hassan, we got Ian, we got Ethan. Is this AI? Like, was this AI enhanced? His ear looks weird here. I don't know. Come on, guys. Move AB left a little bit. And move him towards goblin mode. Well, if we're going to do that, we have to like shift them all just a little bit. We'll go like that then, like around here. Above love. In terms of goblin mode, really? I just think whenever I've heard Nate chime in, he's shooting ropes. Like, I can't even think of them all off the top of my head just because he said some crazy ones. But he isn't as, he definitely hasn't done it as much as Love, say, since he's newer. He doesn't chime in as heavy. True. He definitely openly sides with Ethan more. So we're saying like around here then? I was just getting it over here because I was thinking about it. So we're thinking like over here? Because I will say that I haven't seen a moment where he's tried to like cut away from something or he's not shown something on screen. Anytime Ethan's been like, hey, put this up. Hey, it's time, Nate. Do this. And Nate's like, let's fucking go. Ooh, is Denim's gonna call in? Denim said she would, didn't she? Denim's better call in. Or everybody needs to go to her channel. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone go to her channel and harass her for it. No, don't do that. That would be a horrible thing to do. And nobody should harass anybody for their willingness or unwillingness to do a debate, to do a conversation. Just saying. Sides with Ethan for Nate too, yeah. He definitely sides with Ethan. I think here's not too bad. So we're getting a lot. See, we have a lot of devoted people. The only one that's super far off is Sam. Sam was our true mole. She was the person on the inside that was trying to sow hatred towards Ethan. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just surprised that she's the only one we've put over here, honestly. Maybe we'll move her in just a little bit, you know. Just because we won't be that mean. It isn't even like a mean thing. She really is just... She's more opinionated than the rest, I suppose. And willing to show it on her face, at least. Denim's called herself the largest female political streamer. I'm just gonna say that's kind of talking bad about Frogan. Shooting down your own people. I'm always looking at my screen when it stinks when Denims pops up. Really hit one of these. Zach should be more left. Like that. I don't hate that. I think that's a good one. So now let's move on to Donna. Donna, I think, is... Fuck, baby, no. I don't know. She's very peace and love. I'd say she sides with Ethan 100%. She's going to side with her baby boy. You know what I mean? Rogan and her 60 viewers. Exactly. Stars can stay rising. They don't burn out that fast. Where are we putting Donna? Is everyone just cool with where I place Donna? She's definitely sides with Ethan, but I'd say she's more peace and love. But some of the stuff she says, we do get some goblin-y takes sometimes. Ethan wants to pull the goblin out of his mom. You can see it the way he talks about Mahjong. We can keep her like, I'd say, we just gonna put her top right? Is she just farthest peace and love inside with Ethan? We just giving her all the love? Because I'd say she just has said some stuff. Whereas Cam, I think, was more silent than anything, which is why he's full peace and love. Where Donna has had the ability to show a goblin aspect. Cam would probably be more goblin mode. If we're counting his, like, I guess we need to count. Do we count his like photoshops and stuff? Because those do get pretty goblin too. So maybe he's not full peace and love. I don't know. It's getting complicated now. Yeah, that is the thing. It is just old lady shit for her boomer takes. So maybe they're about the same then. They're kind of like there. They're not full peace and love because they're just hitting that simple stuff. Yeah, see, she would never be on the goblin side. That's the thing. But she raised a goblin, and that's the issue. But then we have Gabe. Gabe isn't as goblin. I would put Gabe at a little... I'd put him right here. Because that's our boy. He sticks by Ethan's side because Ethan sticks by his side. And then I would say that he's not as goblin. He says the most crazy shit, the most obscene, hilarious stuff. But he's also got a filter. I've seen you've seen the moments where Ethan's tried to get something out of Gabe and Gabe's really hit the, oh no, not that, no. I wouldn't say that, no. So we're gonna move Cam down a little bit because of his photoshops. I think that's fair. Move him like here. I think that's a very fair assessment. Okay. So I think that's good. We have one last one. Yeah, nowadays he really hasn't been hitting goblin mode as much. But we're talking about in totality. See, part goblin. See, we're going to move her down just a little bit. So we moved them a little bit closer together, Gabe and Donna here. Because Gabe got a little bit less, but Donna got a little bit more. We're here. And then we got Tom Ward, our final man. Tom Ward is always going to side with Ethan, I think. He definitely pushes back on certain things like, you know, Lord of the Rings. Music takes, he pushes back on. I'd agree, like 25% and then 100% Ethan, 25% Goblin. Because honestly, Gabe's Goblin mode purely just comes from the like energy that he brings to his like Friday baby and all that shit. Not that shit, that glorious stuff. But you get what I'm saying. But where's Tom going? Where are we at with Tom? Tom is peace and love, I will say. That is true. Tom hasn't shown too much of his goblin behavior. You can see it settling in him, though. Tom just hasn't had the voice, like I'm saying. Yeah, he hates Star Wars. Like, come on. Goblin / sides with Ethan. I guess the question is, are we going to put him above or below love? Because that's kind of where I'd see him. Is somewhere here-ish. Like this general area. Because I'd say Tom espouses good vibes. That's like his whole thing. Why do I just keep getting all these? I live in Arizona, but I live like outside. But the thing is, I think Tom has the goblin mode. You've heard his music. You've seen the things he's posted. But again, he's like Cam in the way of I don't think he's had enough like screen time to really showcase his full, you know, all of himself. Yeah, he has secret goblin tendencies. That's a great way to put it. A little less goblin than love. So we'll put him at like the halfway. We'll move him like here. I think that's our list. Upper left corner is Queen Donna's spot. See, that's what I was thinking too, but it's just like she raised a goblin. If you raised a goblin, we have to, we have to see that, like, it came from her. He was eating her placenta. Left of Nate? Okay, that's fair actually. More siding with Ethan. I think that's probably true with Tom. He probably sides with Ethan more. That's definitely fair. So what are we thinking though? Does this look good? Are we gonna say this is our final decision on this? How are we feeling? How are we feeling, chat? I'm gonna do these more. I have some ideas for more tier lists and stuff. I'm gonna try and think of some more ideas for games too. She has a spark of the goblin. Cool. I think this one was a good one then. I think we're gonna finish this one off. So we're gonna save that one. That's good. I'm gonna save it later. Don't want my files popping up. So now we're gonna move on. I don't know if we're not gonna have time to do all of this clearly, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do as much as I can right now. Then we'll save it for later and we'll do the rest. You don't have to get through every single one right now. There's definitely gonna be more enemies of the show that are on this that are on this, because this came out in 2022 and was by this one was by Love, but he didn't even have like XQC or anything on there. I know XQC isn't like they're not big enemies, but I added a few names here. So as we start off, we have BTS. BTS was never an enemy. There's not even a reason to take them off here. BTS was never an enemy to begin with. Ah, thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. No, I'll definitely I'll show that off on Wednesday then. We'll talk about it. I love videos about myself. That's great. Yeah, we have to add all the modern enemies. I added iDubbbz, Frogan, Denims, Hassan. Like, I don't even think, yeah, Sneeko's not on here either. I need to add Sneeko. Yeah, so this will be an expanding list that we'll probably continue this over a few different streams, honestly. We'll keep coming back to this. That's what I'm saying, is we stan BTS. We're not even gonna like engage with this. We're moving that down all the way down here because we love BTS. And Blackpink. We're Is that what they're called? But so let's move on. Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato, I think, has been forgiven at this point. There wasn't that much hatred towards her. She didn't get her yogurt on time, but like, do we really care that much? I feel like Demi Lovato is really just kind of like, it's Demi. She's a celebrity. How can we hate her? Did we get an update on the thumbnail and stuff? Oh, there we go. The Three Bozos of the Apocalypse. H3 show number 149. We finally got a title. Yeah, this should be Poot. Poot we would put on Death to All of Them. Just kidding. But I'd say Demi's probably forgiven. Let me know if anyone disagrees with that. But Soflo Antonio, I'd almost say who is that, because not even Ethan would obviously know who Soflo Antonio. But would most of the fan base at this point? If people say, hey, have you seen that new Soflo Antonio video? I think probably maybe 20%, or maybe more, maybe like 50, if we're lucky. Everybody used to be a fan, you know what I mean? But I just don't think he's as relevant. So I'd put him in the Who is Sam. Or actually, I liked what was said in chat. We're gonna call this the Eel Pit. The eel pit, because they just never get talked about. They never get brought up. Ooh, Eclipse tier list would be really fun. Yeah, that would be really good. I'll set that up, and we'll talk about that later this week. Because I need to think of some more stuff to talk about when they're on break, too. Because I want to do some H3 content as well as talking about other, like, you know. Yeah, see, people know about the SoFlo era. It is... Yeah, see, SoFlo just fell off completely. Yeah, Papa Gut is the biggest enemy of Ethan. Until he gets that hat, then he'll be fully forgiven. But yeah, so SoFlo's definitely eel-pitted. Jason Nash... I'd say Jason Nash is a frenemy. Purely because the stuff that he's done is definitely weird and bad as an adult, grown, fully mentally developed man. I forget who the guy was that he was like groping on and shit, but yeah, so I'd put him in the frenemies tier because I don't think we can forgive him for that, but we will definitely keep looking at him and laughing at the things that he does. His fallout is at least funny. He kind of looks like Rolo Tony, you're right. He does. I don't know if that's why you said that, but that's definitely what he looks like. You're right. SoFlo played checkers while Ethan played chess. But that's why SoFlo got banned from the tournament. So he's just gone now. Like that. That was clever. Pretty smart. But what about Shredder? Shredder is forgiven. Shredder is the love. He is the... Is this baby Shredder? Right? That's like a baby Shredder photo. And Fred. We'll put Shredder and Fred at the top because they might be a little crazy. They might be a little wacky. They might distract Ethan when we're trying to fucking get through a topic. But they will always be forgiven as the beautiful pooches. Yeah, exactly. The reason Nash hasn't fallen off is because of his TikTok era. That's exactly what it is. Shredder is everything. Who are these people? Someone tell me who these people are. I know it's probably hard to see. Let me zoom in a little. I literally don't know who these people are. But okay. We're gonna move on. Just let me know if anyone knows who this is. Because if so, I'm gonna leave him in the eel pit for now, because I literally have no clue who this is. But so Aiden Ross. No, yeah, Ethan has sympathy for Jason's sad life. I could believe that. Shredder is love. Shredder is life. But Aiden Ross, I'm trying to decide if he is, but I think he's button material. I'd say he's death to all of them, but I think that he's truly just an ignorant person. Like there's a difference between ignorance and malice, and I think that Aiden Ross is pure ignorance. Is this the mukbang people? Is that what it is? It just like he made a video about them and they're mukbang related? Because if that's the case, then yes, they are fully just here. There's no other place for them. Ooh, let me throw up my poll real quick. We're getting too ahead of ourselves. Yeah, Aiden is just plain stupid. That's the reason we can't just be like, oh, he's evil. He needs to... The death to all of them. It's Wendy Williams saying it. It's not me. I would never say something so heinous. And this is clearly just a fucking joke tier list. This isn't the same. This isn't the same as racism. It's not, but... Did I spell anything wrong? How bad was this poll? But then we have Gary V. Yes, this is Gary V. Gary V is malicious. We're gonna move Gary V to death to all of them. Gary V is definitely a malicious person who only wants to get over on people through the like guise of betterment. Like, yes, in Minecraft, of course. Death to all of them in Minecraft. That's why it's in quotations. Because the quotations means that it's a quote from somebody. The asterisks mean that it's an action that's taking place. A little bit of a tip for you there. So we button Aiden Ross, but we say death to all of them. How did Wendy Williams say that on television? That doesn't make any sense. But then we move on to this fella. I always forget what his fucking name is. Jeff's buddy. Just spam it in chat and I'll say it. But he's forgiven. We know he's long been forgiven. I know it's not his name. I want to call him Chester. I keep wanting to say Chad or Chester. I know that's not his name at all. Why is that the name that keeps coming to my mind? Amazing. Okay, again, another person that I don't know. Who is this? Again, if somebody knows, tell me. See, when Love made this 3 years ago by Young Fika. But he added like all of the OG like enemies, all of like the old school people. Cody, that's it. Cody. Yeah, Cody is forgiven. Yeah, Cody did the full 180 and now he's honestly friend material. We're going to put him above Demi Lovato. We're ranking them all. Who's this celebrity? I'm leaving this guy here until somebody can tell me who this is. I'll try to zoom in more. Oh, there we go. We can zoom in a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So who is this? And then who is this? What's her name? I forget what the celebrity's name is. I just don't want to be stupid if I say that wrong. What? Who is this? Yeah, who are these people? Who are these two? Is it Nikita Dragon? No. Or yes? Yes, that is Nikita Dragon. I don't even remember the beef, so yes, Eel Pit. Eel Pit with her. To the Eel Pit. This is Keemstar without the beard. Oh, Sam Tripoli? Yeah. Okay, yeah, all of these people just... They're here. They're in the Eel Pit. Is she still in jail? I don't... Is she? That's pretty good. What are these ones? What is this? What is this? Is this humongous? Love, why did you add these images? Until I know who this is, I'm just gonna leave them in the Eel Pit. Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy, I feel like, has always been a frenemy. There's never been like a true... what was he doing? There was something weird that he did. What did he do? I've just seen recently he has been one of the bigger voices of people that have like a bigger platform that have been speaking up against like... because he's Jewish, so he's speaking up against anti-Semitism and just different stuff. He went to the UFC and was talking shit to Bryce Mitchell when he got choked out by Jean Silva because Bryce Mitchell said the Holocaust was like it was greatly exaggerated. You're just listening to your indoctrinated education. I learned this stuff on my own. I would go fishing with Hitler. He seemed like a good guy. Yeah, she had a psychotic break. That is pretty crazy. Yeah, it's definitely Eel Pit. He did a crypto recently. That's why he's frenemies, because he's relevant. We're not just fully trying to kick him out and denounce him. I mean, but he's not even a frenemy, really. Maybe we'll call him Button. We'll call him a Button. We'll call him the Button because he really hasn't had too much back and forth with Ethan at all. There hasn't really been. It's just been like a topic to talk about. So we'll call him Button purely because... but is he as bad as... I mean, I guess they're both kind of on that level though, right? They'll both talk about anti-Semitism, but nothing else. So, I guess that's a fair place for both of them. Pyrocynical fully fell off. Eel Pit. Ian, my friend Ian, we have forgiven you for all of the hate, for all of the bad times. We will forgive you. See, so I'll put him here because Button I don't think is the worst we can be in. Eel Pit, it kind of throws it off a little bit because Eel Pit is just unknown. The dummies. So this is just kind of almost like a null one. Maybe I should move it down. We move it like this. Make this one like a... This one gray. Because they're just gone. Yeah, that works. Sure. That actually works better. Let's do that. So this is the forgotten tier. This actually makes it make more sense. Yeah, Mr. Verified has to be forgiven. Yep, forgiven and never forgotten. You're so right. Is this Jake Paul? Ooh, grabbed SoFlo by accident. Is this Jake Paul? I think. Jake Paul can be in frenemies. They don't, or is that Logan? I think it's Jake. But Jake Paul, I would say, is probably he's in either frenemies or Button, because they have no reason to be forgiven. They have that Taking Over America, whatever the show's called. It's terrible, and you know, it's just a long history of bad stuff, never truly making amends for the ills of his past. So maybe we'll leave him in Button. Because we do like talking about him. We wouldn't say he needs to completely be washed away. And I don't mean washed away physically, I mean metaphorically, as in their online persona. Oh, I moved this another one. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. Because the Button is like, we might button him out, we might not like him here. But this is saying metaphorically they could be removed from the internet, and I would enjoy that. If we removed them from the internet and were completely gone, perfect, great day. But we want these people here so we can talk about them. They're good content. They're good to farm. And not truly evil. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has become way more like into the far right sphere, where even when he has on his friends and people that should be able to push back on him, it's been falling flat on its face nowadays. Like, it's so bad. It's genuinely heartbreaking to see that, like, he had Tom Segura on, and Tom Segura and him were talking about what Kanye's new song was. They were talking about the Heil Hitler song. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And Joe's like, well, it's like him talking about the times. If you think about it, like, there's like a lot of egalitarianism happening in the world. And so it's kind of his fighting against that and showcasing it. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit that Joe Rogan's on. So I think we have to move him into that lower tier. I think we have to. I think it's the only, like, rightful thing to do. Yep, Hassan is the Joe Rogan of the left, so And we know the tears are going in. Sin Jared, Pro Jared, definitely goes in here. Because he could be gone. He's irrelevant, though, too. Is he irrelevant, or is he bad enough? Because I feel like the name is wide enough spread to be where people remember his Tumblr or whatever it was, where he was getting nudes from fans and sharing nudes. But he hasn't been a topic of interest in a long time, so maybe Eel Pit is the best fitting one. Maybe he was replaced with an alien. Joe Rogan died and got replaced with an alien. That's why his nipples look like that now. They didn't want to invest in a toupee, so they just put on the skin suit and left it at that. Used to watch Pro Jared as a kid. It's not like his content was terrible. It was what he was doing behind the scenes that was bad. That's the thing. Is like, I had a friend who was a big Pro Jared fan, and then when he found out about all this stuff, he was like, God damn it. I remember that in high school. Yeah, I think he's Eel Pit. Oh, so I think this is Nelk in totality. So Nelk, I think, is frenemies, even though we probably wouldn't like them to. No, actually, Nelk isn't. We need to add Steiny. This is just separate, because having Steve Will Do It here, Steve Will Do It is frenemies. But Nelk as a whole, like Kyle and them, I would say is probably Buttonwort. Or even Eel Pit. That's what makes this one interesting. So we'll leave it at Button, just because Steve, he's been crawling his way back. Oh, fuck Jerry? Or wasn't it fuck Jared? I thought it was, or no. Pro Jerry. Fuck Jerry. And then wasn't there like another thing? There was like another name like that. Why was that? There are people that just name themselves such weird stuff. The name Captain Quasar, that's super normal and awesome. And peak. And I didn't just pick it because it's a defunct game. Yeah, Steiny and Steve, that's the thing. Is like, that's the thing, is Steiny and Steve, I think, would almost be in Forgiven. They're probably in Frenemies, just because it is a back and forth of like love them, hate them. But with Nelk involved, I think we're gonna just move them down to Button now. If we're talking about Nelk in totality, I don't think we'd want Kyle and the rest of the guys stepping in. But then we have Alex Jones. This one's easy. Move him there. We know what Alex Jones thinks. He'll always be relevant. He's fallen off in the last few years, but even so, he's scraping for that relevancy, talking about the most insane shit. If a soundbite comes, it will be spoken about. So we put him in this low level because of the stuff he talks about, not because of anything else. Because of him in totality. He will always be relevant. FouseyTube might be in the Eel Pit now. After everything, after all of the stuff's happened, we might have dropped Fousey into the Eel Pit. Fousey's pretty bad, but he's also mentally unwell. So I don't want to call him malicious. So I would say it's either Button or Eel Pit. Like, I don't know. I'd say he's probably Eel Pit. Where has he been? That's what I'm saying, is literally Fousey has been doing a whole lot of nothing, if we're being completely. Who's this? I know the face, but I don't know her name. Who is this? Yes. Fousey is in a state of eel pitness right now. I'll leave him there then, that's fair. But who is this? Who is she? Again, we'll zoom in way too close because it's hard. Who is this right here? And then who is this too? Yeah, who are these two people? I'll move on. If anybody can tell me who these two are, I genuinely have no clue. For real, my viewer base would be absolutely non-existent if they started on time. Where are we at right now? We still not started? They haven't updated anything either. Have we gotten an Instagram post? That's when we know that we're really going to be... Oh, it's Michaela Peterson. That's it. Yeah. I was like, I know her face, but I can't tell. I'd say she's eel pit. She's not really a bad person or any... Like, she dated Andrew Tate, right? And then did she have some weird takes or something? Did she also say some, like, homophobic or transphobic stuff like your dad? What? Oh, is this Jeffree Star? If it's Jeffree Star, I think this eel pit is probably fair for both of these then. That probably is Jeffree. So we'll say eel pit for them then, because they just haven't been relevant recently. Really hasn't been a whole lot. So now we move on to Seaman. Seaman's frenemies. That's my opinion. Or Forgiven. I don't think there's been... Did it end? I think it ended gracefully with Seaman. So maybe Forgiven fully. And Forgiven can mean on either side. Either he forgave us or we forgave him. You know what I mean? Oh, that's really good eyes. Really were able to... You have Jeffree vision. Yeah, without the wig, it's hard to recognize. So true. Yeah, I think everything with Seaman was fine in the end. That's kind of why I put him at Forgiven. I think it ended off fine, but it wasn't anything too... It was never anything too crazy. It was almost just miscommunication all the way through. Yeah, bring back Seaman. So we'll leave him at Forgiven. I think that's a good one. Anissa, again, easy one. Get off the internet. You don't need it. I mean, you probably need it for the income, but it doesn't need you. Please. Seaman started snarking? Really? He said he got... Okay. Then we're definitely going to have to move him to frenemies. Because I do believe one singular conversation with Seaman, and he would flip right back. Yeah, Anissa is definitely going to be down here, purely because I will say she's the only one that did take back her statement about Joseph Mengele. But beyond that, the type of the company you keep has led you down this path. I feel like this is gonna get like screenshotted and people, so this is gonna go on a snark page being like, look at the H3 fan base wishing death upon people. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. H3 lore has him as enemy. Okay, you're right. I gotta move him down to button then. Because the stuff he was doing wasn't that good. I don't know though. I'm telling you. He can be changed. I can change him. Seaman got manipulated by snarkers and tried to get in contact with Keemstar and Cav. I did not hear about that. That's amazing. That's actually kind of incredible. So yeah, we'll leave him at button. Because again, he's kind of like Aiden Ross in the way of, I don't think he's super malicious. I think he's kind of a dumb guy who's just willing to believe what people tell him. He was lied to about a phone call that a guy said he was on. A guy told him, we had a phone call together, and he was like, oh, well, yeah, but like, and they didn't. So I just think C-Man's very easily swayed, so we'll leave him at button. Who are these people? We're gonna put him in eel pit, because who the fuck is this? What is up with you, love? What did you do? Who are these people? Amazing job. Rolo Tony Browntown, the king of the red pill, can go to the bottom, can go to the eel pit too. So we have a lot of eel pit because these people just aren't relevant anymore. They aren't strong, hardened enemies. Oh, we're live? Okay, we'll save this for later. We'll continue it. If you can think of anybody else,
Hello,
leave it in the
everybody.
comments. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We will be back on Wednesday for another H3 waiting room, and I will be back tomorrow for a members only stream. So become a member today if you haven't already. And I will be doing a member stream talking about more internet crazy stuff. Charlie Kirk, what we're deep diving into to do a video for the end of the month. Sorry, I was trying to think about that as I was saying it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Captain Quasar signing off.